Terror on the Tube.
Welcome to Terror on the Tube, where we watch and discuss horror and suspense made for TV movies from the 70s, 80s, and, to my chagrin, the 90s. I am Gilman Joel, and my co-hosts are Pumpkinhead Peter.
Hi.
The horror unicorn, a.k.a.
Hello.
Allison. And the one and only, returning, becoming a downright irregular, I'd say, Dr. Ew. AKA Drew. All right. We are here. We are talking probably one of the least known
That's the thumbnail right here.
Oh, good Lord. I didn't even notice your teeth.
It took you a while.
Those are not good Zuni fetish doll teeth. Those are more like I'm a hillbilly and
He's working with what he's got on hand.
Tell me what you're working with. All right, we are covering the seldom talked about, seldom seen.
Yes.
Trilogy of Terror from 1975.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it either.
Nope.
Yeah. I'm just thankful it's not from the mid 90s. So although there is one actually, part 2 is from the 90s, and I actually kind of like that one. So
I don't think I ever saw that one.
yeah, you did. We covered
Is
it
that on
on
our list?
Anthony.
it should be.
No, I don't think
we
so.
did it. Did we do it for Spooky Flicks Fest? I think we
No,
did.
I think we covered, to be honest, I think we covered just because that was on during our dolls theme. We did the Zuni fetish doll, segment.
We did the original Trilogy of Terror
yeah.
compared to the part 2. It's kind
I
of
think
remake.
that was the first time Hugh joined us.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember watching I think I watched the whole Trilogy of Terror 2, and I remember I think it was like a Showtime.
You know what? It was.
If memory serves. It may have been-
Because I watched a thing
yeah.
about Trilogy of Terror and the sequel on YouTube after watching this.
Yeah. I remember liking it.
I have not seen
I
it.
don't think I've ever seen. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I don't think I've seen it. So.
Well, I think just to get this out of the way, but Peter, before you do the synopsis, I think at the end of the day, this movie's remembered primarily.
Oh, you think?
For the second story
for this one?
about the twins, right? Yeah, okay. That's the one. Yeah.
Okay. I'll leave the dentures on.
All right, Peter.
Yeah, you
Yes,
got
sir.
blonde wig
Do you have
now.
a synopsis?
There's your blonde wig.
Yeah. Oh, that I
have
He
had
does
one,
have that.
and
He has-
there
yeah.
are on Facebook. If people want to, on a Halloween 2015,
Okay.
16-ish, there is a photo of me with a long.
You were one
blonde
once
wig.
when we dressed up as Xena and Gabrielle one year for Halloween.
I was Gabrielle.
So I was going to
Of
say,
course.
didn't get to be
You
Zena,
should
did
be.
you? Did you, Drew? All right.
All right. So, Trilogy of Terror. It was originally aired on Tuesday, March 4 in 1975 on ABC as part of Movie of the Week. And it's, let's do this one. 3 interwoven horror stories. The first story is about a college student who is infatuated with his teacher. The second story is a paranoid tale of twin sisters, one good, the other evil. The third story is about a Zuni fetish doll that comes to life and terrorizes a woman in her own apartment. I don't understand why they put her own apartment. Who else? I mean, never mind.
Yeah.
Pedantic.
Because you're supposed to be safe in your own
So
apartment,
that's,
you know?
yeah.
You are
Yes.
supposed to be safe.
So,
So I think we should, let's go around the horn real quick. Drew and Allison, and this would be great. This is the one Allison had never seen before. When did you guys first see Trilogy of Terror?
I'm trying to figure out if this is the first time I've watched them all through.
So last
But
night.
I feel like I've seen all of them before, but never all at the same time. So this would have been my first time watching
Gotcha.
it
Okay.
from beginning to end.
Beginning to end.
It seems like
Okay.
it's off and
Okay.
on in the
Cool.
background at this house. So
Yeah, and it is one of those. Well, I feel like a lot of people have seen the third story, but
Right.
maybe not the other two as well.
Probably.
That's very
the only
common
one like
thing.
it was kind
what
of
about you,
like,
Alison?
wait, did I see this or not? Was the first one, but I think that's because the first one has it's the least campiest kind of. So like it sticks in my head less than the other two that are pretty campy.
Yeah. The other two are a little bit more memorable. Yeah.
I mean, the first one's kind of the creepiest.
Yeah, honestly, it's the most disturbing.
Campiest, most disturbing of the three.
Yeah.
And the twist in that one, I don't predict in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Actually, because we should say all of these are based on Richard Matheson stories.
Yep.
If memory serves, though, he only wrote the teleplay adaptation for the last one.
Yeah, he was only. Yeah, he was. Yeah,
William F. Nolan, who's also a very, he did the well-known horror author, did the first two.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Yeah, Matheson adapted the Zuni.
Yes. Have any of you read that short story before?
Nope. I have a lot of Matheson, but I didn't have that particular Playboy that it was originally.
I sorry to disappoint you, Peter. I just have a story collection. Well, Duel was in Playboy. I know Duel.
That'd
was
be fun to have that though.
The OG one. Well, and we'd only have it for the articles, Allison.
Yeah. Because all the other pages would be kind of stuck together. Never mind,
on, Peter. Don't be gross.
Some people have self-control.
This isn't Winter Beast. Really.
Some people could look at the pictures without ruining that.
Those that have seen Winter Beast got my joke, but those who have not seen Winter Beast are probably very lucky because they've never seen Winter Beast. But if you ever seen Winter Beast,
I did watch the Horror Lagoon segment on YouTube recently for that. I've not seen Winter Beast, but that was a fun episode.
Yes. Yikes, that movie is something. But anyway, we're talking about Trilogy of Terror here.
Yes.
The short story, it's funny, and we'll get into the specifics, but the short story is actually called Prey, Prey. And I'm guessing they decided, since it's supposed to be a trilogy, they wanted this theme of the woman, protagonist name from each story to be the main title of each short story. I get what they were doing. And I will say this too, for both the short film version and the actual story itself, He Who Kills is a much better title. Like He Who Kills is a great title.
Oh, yeah. That was
That's what's on the card. Yeah, but that's not what they call it. So anyway, Allison, for you, when did you first see?
I was trying to remember that, actually. I definitely did not see this as a child because I've read so many people's posts on the internet about how this was a childhood trauma moment for them. Mostly just, the last segment. Sure. But it was a long time ago. I saw it as an adult. I've seen it a few times since then. It's really easy to find, which is part of what's nice about it. It's kind of all over the internet. It shows up on a lot of the free streaming services.
I watched it on Creature Features.
That's where I watched it. Peter.
And then when we rewatched it for Drew, I actually, because I love Creature Features, sometimes there's just a lot of commercials, even for YouTube, and they're a different volume, which is a little jarring. And so we ended up. There's another horror host program on YouTube that I like. Sometimes it's a different vibe. It's way more subtle. It's not quite as entertaining as Creature Features with all the skits and antics. But it's called Newcastle After Dark, and it's just a very very chill vibe, and they cover great movies, and this is one of them. They have episodes for both the Night Stalker and the Night Strangler. And then they also have some rarer things that I won't mention because I don't know, how long they'll have permission to have them up there. They're worth a look. They're worth checking out. I really enjoy their horror hosting style. And they usually talk quite a bit about whatever they're showing and usually have great knowledge about, background about different actors or who was involved with the writing. And so this was good. And it depends on who claims rights, but for this particular one, they did not have commercials. So if you want to watch a YouTube version with no commercials, I say check that one out.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Very cool. All right. So Peter, I assume you had seen this before, this particular viewing. Yeah.
I can't for the life of me remember when I watched it first, but I think the one after you've seen it the first time or the second or third time, you kind of just go to the Zuni fetish doll version. I watched that, so that's the segment I've watched most times. I think the other two I've watched one or two times, but I don't remember when I watched it the first time.
Yeah,
sadly.
yeah. You know, it's funny. My memory of watching it is I'm 92.6%. Sure.
Okay.
I was in
Pretty
high school and I rented it.
Huh.
And I was aware of that final story, which is why I wanted to rent it. But it's weird because I have just these fleeting images of watching it in my bedroom from that time period. But there's this other part of me that thinks, no, I feel like I might have been older than that before. I probably read about it in some retrospective or something in Fangoria and then found it. And I know I saw it in somewhere between like 15, 16, and 25. Like somewhere in that window, I know is when I first saw it. That's definitely what happened.
It's a small window.
It's a small window.
Yeah, actually.
So it's not that big a window anymore. But anyway, so I know I saw it when I was younger. I wasn't a kid though, because to your point, Alison, let's just be frank. Regardless of what
this as a kid,
can you imagine being like 9 and your parents like, yeah, go ahead and watch TV, hon, and you watch it and that especially, and we don't want to give anything away.
No,
but
let's save that one for last.
Yeah, we will. But there's this key moment where I just imagine that's the kind of image you can never scrub from your young brain.
When I was really young, I didn't even watch the movie. I just saw the poster for Ghoulies where the little guy's coming out of the toilet.
Yeah.
And I was concerned about that for months. I was just thinking, oh, now there's a new thing to worry about in the bathroom. Every time you go to sit down, every time you go, it's like, oh, I don't remember. It was in the early to mid 80s. So I was fairly young. But yeah, if I had seen this, I would have been ruined.
Allison, I think I know what you have in your hand.
Alison, I'm hoping this doesn't traumatize you too deeply here.
They have a Ghoulies replica over at the Tom Devlin Monster Museum over in just outside Las Vegas.
Nice.
Yeah, is it a full to scale?
Yeah, most of the stuff in there is to scale, and he used to do stuff for Full Moon, so there's actually some original screen used puppets and stuff. Yeah, there's.
Cool.
He didn't do Ghoulies, but
cool.
He did recreations of stuff he liked.
I think was that John Carl Buechler? I think who did Ghoulies. Everyone just nod and pretend like they know what the hell I'm talking about.
If you want to be time and you're in the Vegas area, rent a car or take a trip out to is it Boulder City, the little name of the town, and go check out Tom Devlin's Monster Museum because it's amazing.
I absolutely would.
I mean, you're already going to be taking a trip to go see the dam, so. On just before the dam, take a stop.
I think it's better than the dam.
I mean, the dam's just a dam.
Well, as opposed to the people who go out there to visit the mud dam and the the Bunny Ranch.
Yeah, they also that same town is where Zoltar machines are made by Creatures Unlimited, and they have a store. And sometimes, if they're feeling friendly and they're on the right day, they'll give you a little tour, maybe. Yeah, it's not necessarily open to the public, but sometimes they let people inside to take a look. They let us look around. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. Yeah. All right. So we had all known this movie, but I'm going to be upfront with everyone and say this. I know I've seen the entirety of this film. At least this is probably the third, maybe fourth time that I've seen all of these.
Last segment, though.
You could have put a gun to my head and said, describe the first two stories. And I'd been like, I know Karen Black's in them.
Yeah. And her husband in the first one.
I never remember ever those stories. I don't know why. It's probably because the last one doesn't make the impression that it does. And I know I've seen just that segment more times than I've seen the whole movie.
Listen, and we'll get into that. That final image will erase everything you've seen predating that.
Yes.
And there's a shadow moving behind you, Joel.
Yes, there's people coming through the video shop. We got customers.
Kick him out.
Employee of the month over here.
They're there to rent. They're there to rent Ghoulies go to college.
Yeah, get out of here.
This job would be great if it wasn't for the customers, huh?
If it wasn't these internal customers that come in and out of the shop.
That's what. Have you seen the British series Black Books?
Oh, I love that show. Yeah.
Bernard Black, when he's like he loves the store, but he hates customers.
It's so relatable.
I was going for the Clerks reference.
So,
do we want to talk about each segment individually then, or? I mean, I know
Yeah, that makes the most sense. That makes the most sense. And plus, if we don't, we're just going to keep talking about the
and
last
assuming
one.
people are down with spoilers
right,
and have seen everything.
Yes. If you've never seen Trilogy of Terror, please go watch it. It's on YouTube. It's on Amazon.
It takes about an hour, 14 minutes.
Yeah, you get a physical media copy. We should also say this was done by Dan Curtis, the one and only Mr. Dark Shadows himself, Dan Curtis. Was a director, and of course Kolchak and all that good stuff. So
I know his daughter's in it too.
I did know.
Yeah, and if you
Karen Black,
she's in the second one.
No, his daughter. She's a little. Yeah, she's in the second one. She's the girl who cries. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Huh.
Look, what is her name?
Stacy Curtis.
Tracy Curtis.
Tracy
Curtis.
Tracy
Cool.
Stacy.
Yes.
I'd say anybody.
Yeah. Drew,
I'd say that anybody, if they somehow have not had this spoiled for them before, also don't watch any other horror documentary and before watching this, because on the off chance that it's like, I feel like it's talked about in 50%.
They talk about that last segment a lot of different places, because a lot of people saw it as a child and they can't stop talking about it because it messed them up.
Yep. In all the right ways. All right. So the first segment is Julie, correct? That is the first story.
Yes. And it is actually pretty, like Drew said. It's,
of the three, I think it's the darkest
creepy one with the theme.
Yeah.
The darkest, most messed up one that like everyone's like, oh, the last one traumatized me. It's like, well, that's because you weren't old enough to understand the first one.
Well, here's the thing. I watched this. I watched this for the first time as an adult quite a while ago. But I had been in the horror zeitgeist and the TV movie zeitgeist so long enough that I knew about the third segment, even though I'd never watched it. I didn't know about the other two. And this first one, the first time I watched it, I was like, what is happening? Like, I just started to kind of get stressed out because, Karen Black plays a professor, and she has a student who all of a sudden becomes obsessed with her, but he's basically like drugging her and assaulting her and blackmailing her.
Oh yeah. And isn't the implication that he's also bringing his friends around?
Yeah.
It's really
she wanted her to meet friends.
But then when you realize that, because the other thing is we should say is Karen Black's character, Julie, is very kind of mousy, mild-mannered, very reserved. And so it seems like she's just this innocent who's being totally horribly taken advantage of and manipulated.
Takes you to the drive-in and watches
I love I did the drive-in. I'm always happy.
But then, it's the Night Stalker.
Yeah, it's the Night Stalker.
I didn't know that until recently.
Yeah, it was. Oh my God!
Well, they showed it in black and white, and you don't see Darren McGavin on screen, so it kind of just slips under the radar.
They just cut in every single vampire scene.
There's one scene where you see a woman walking in front of what's obviously a casino, and that's really the only thing that like screams, "This is the Night Stalker" to me.
Yeah. But the thing is that, and we'll not to give it away just yet, but when the reveal happens, now there is the insinuation fairly early on that, he's under, not necessarily under a spell, but you obviously he's saying
kind of obsessed.
But then you chalk it up to he's just an a-hole who's manipulating, he's like basically
a hormonal.
This goes past hormonal. This is like it's straight up going Weinstein. Okay,
like this is like serial killer behavior. Like this is the kind of stuff
like he's on his
serial killer would do.
He comes across like a sociopath. Like he seems like a. But then when the whole. Go ahead.
Yeah, but the whole thing where he drugs her and it takes her to a motel and checks in as Jonathan Parker.
Yes,
and then I mean he must have had this was planned. A lot of different sexy outfits for her to wear, and takes photos, and then brings her back, and then you fell asleep during the movie, and
I didn't have the heart to wake you.
Yeah, it's like that whole creepiness. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
I feel like he does more than take photos, but
Oh no, he definitely did.
Probably.
Oh no, they heavily implied.
They definitely implied.
Big time.
Yeah, then when he starts blackmailing her and
he's like, I'm going to come over to my house. I've got some friends coming over. It's like, oh man, it got dark. But here's what takes it to like the next level of dark is when you realize plot twist. They never say she's a witch per se.
No.
But they say for her to have been able to control him, obviously she was doing something supernatural. Like they don't overly explain that part, but basically she's controlling him. And so then that means that everything that transpired, she made happen because she wanted it to. And like some reason that's so much darker to me.
Yeah.
It's so much more twisted. And
she plants a thought in his head where he kind of like, I wonder what she looks naked. That's what he kind of tells his friend.
She says it back to him because she put it there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
she was, and also the images of her in the bed, unconscious.
Yeah.
He had those flashes before it happened. Yeah. So she, for whatever she's obviously had a really weird thing she was into, and she made it all happen.
It's a fetish all on its own.
Yeah, it's like I mean, I know I'm not somebody who needs everything answered, but then I immediately have questions about the story because I'm thinking, well, does she like have a weird kink and then like to kill in sort of like a Black Widow style thing?
That's what I thought.
Like,
that's exactly what I thought.
I got the impression because like she kills this guy at the end, and then a new guy shows up to get tutored, and she's like, "We're going to be very good friends." And I just thought, this guy seems like he legit maybe he was crushing on her or wanting to be a tutor, but he doesn't seem like he's trying to manipulate her or be a rapist. So I'm just wondering, are some of the guys just like normal dudes?
I think that's what I think the main guy in this story, the one that came across as a rapist, I think, I think he was just like this next guy. He was checking her out, but I think the second she realized he was into her, I think she planted the ideas, and so everything that transpires after that point was her controlling him. He was under
vile
her spell.
Stuff about women in the beginning before she walks by. So I don't necessarily think,
but I think
I think that like he may have been under the spell to do some of the things, but I think he was already a creep. Like I'm just my impression.
I think that's what I think that's what alerted her to him. Yeah. Probably the way he was against women. So, okay, this is a perfect victim, so to speak. And he would be easily manipulated.
I got a womanizer vibe. Well, like I got that typical 70s. I'm a guy. I'm going to go around getting as many chicks as I can.
It's just so common for guys, especially in campus situations, to drug women. Sometimes other guys as well. It's not always just women, but like the sexual assault during that time and place in people's lives is just, the risk is just sky high. Like, I know people personally who've been drugged and assaulted. I was drugged, unfortunately, not assaulted in college. Like I made it home before anything happened, but like you just never know. Like it's very scary. So I came into this watching that, having had, past experience with danger like that. And I was just like, good God. Like it was like, okay, it just seems, I will say the story, it's interesting. I kind of enjoyed the twist, but at the same time, I just think as a woman, I find it, even if you were like you were kind of sadistic or selfish, like you're going to, unless you're really into being abused and that's your kink, it's like, I find it hard to believe that somebody's going to be like, I'm going to endure a month of really horrible treatment. And then I'm going to murder this guy. Yeah.
But I didn't know how else to take it other than that because she's like, I'm bored now. Like, what the hell?
It's very weird.
Has
it's
the
a weird
speech
story.
about, how she's done this many times before. And some of them have lasted longer because they were more fun and interesting. But
I did like her scrapbook.
It kind of it's almost like it's that overused and not great the rape revenge trope, but it's like a rape prevenge, kind of a thing where it's like she brought it on to have the guy killed, kind of a thing.
I almost wonder too if like with the supernatural element, it's like, is she getting life? Like, is she a lot older than she looks? Is she getting life force off these guys? Because I think that would be an interesting angle if she was like a succubus or something.
Didn't even think about that.
Yeah. That if I will say this, and there's a flaw really in the first two stories in particular, that the reveal, and I think certainly in this one especially, it feels like, and actually my kids watched this with me and they were complaining about that. They felt like the reveal is so like just like almost breakneck.
Yeah.
Turn, like it's like on a turn. It's like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. And so
it's
because
like you could have had a couple more minutes to let the story play.
Yeah, it doesn't feel earned, and we don't get. And look, Matheson is my favorite freaking author, and but to be fair, he didn't develop. This teleplay was by Nolan, and I understand they were trying to make them like 15, 20 minutes long, whatever. Yeah. But I think we get very little explanation. Also, there's a kind of a plot hole here. She kills him. Obviously, the implication was his friends were also involved at some point. So is she going to, by extension, have to kill all of them to cover her tracks? Because obviously, she's not like changing identities, moving to another town.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you kind of get the she sets fire to it, and the fact that
makes it look like an accident. She's making it look like an accident.
Probably told him before in front of people, that it's kind of volatile with the chemicals and everything. So probably covering her tracks a little bit, but there is a plot hole here.
Right. Yeah. And if I'm being honest too, I did find this one dark. It's probably my least favorite of the three. If I'm being honest, I just for me personally. Yeah.
Did you recognize the student that walks in at the end?
I feel like I did, but am I brain farting on who it was? Because there's several people in this. I thought, I
Gregory Harrison is his name. I recognized him. I thought, isn't that? So I had to go back and check. That's the old dude, the surfer oracle, basically from North Shore. The bearded one, where he learns to surf.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
He was also on what was it? Damn it, I'm brain farting. Razorback. Remember that one?
Oh, okay. That's probably why I recognized him. Yeah,
he was in that one too.
Yeah. So, the next story, which we're about to get to, that's the one where there's somebody specifically. I was like, that's
Commandant Lazard.
Don't say it yet. I was going to say Punky's Henry. Yeah. So, all right. So next story. So anybody else have any other comments on Julie before we go to Millicent and Therese or Teresa? Whatever it is.
Did we like Julie? The story? Well, you were kind of like your least favorite.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's like a mid story to me. It wasn't like, and maybe because that twist is just so sudden. I'm like, wait, what the hell? It felt like you said. It didn't feel earned.
That was wonder on that one. Like there was, they went to see the vampire movie. He uses the pseudonym in the thing, and there's just like a hint of like, is it that she has kind of a Bathory kind of thing going on? Like, is she a vampire?
Yeah, because there seems to be a theme there.
So that one just has like a vampire going across, and I wonder if
that's
maybe the source material or something, if it is supernatural. But
yeah, I'd like to actually. I'm going to see if I have that.
Yeah,
I have several
story would be more fun and
see
interesting if we knew a little bit about like
she has that big scrapbook, and if you've like killed that many guys. In reality, you'd have to kill them so close together that like they'd catch on to you pretty quick.
She would be discovered. Yeah, probably.
No amount of hot for teacher. Oh, I'm wearing glasses and have my hair up. I'm obviously not attractive. It's going to cover up that many murders.
Yeah, so but all my kids said the same thing. They're like, "My God, why is that in so many movies?"
So lazy.
She wears glasses and puts her hair up. She is obviously not attractive.
Personally, I think she was most
Superman.
Attractive.
Whoa!
I think she was most attractive in that first one of all the segments.
Yeah.
But
the blonde wig didn't do anything for you?
No.
I don't know. I really love her hair in that first segment.
Could have made it a little bit longer.
She's got really cute hair in that one.
But extend maybe the two first segments a little bit more, so we get a little bit, at least this one, a little bit, because that whole vampire side story would have been
sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Having her, or even having the scrapbook, her flipping through it, having some very old stuff. old newspaper clippings. That would have been cool.
So that you wonder, you're like,
we wouldn't have
how
to have any
long has she
explanation.
been doing this? I think that would be great.
And that would have been enough. You didn't have to have any exposition or talking and everything. Just her flipping through the scrapbook and maybe something from the 30s, 20s, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
just so everyone knows, the short story that this was based on is called "The Likeness of Julie," and it was published in 1962. But I'm going to see if I don't know. The second segment, which we'll get to in a second, that title I recognize, and I'm pretty sure
I'd be curious to read the
Matheson.
Likeness of Julie, just because I do have questions, and I feel like maybe stuff was trimmed for this.
Yeah.
All right.
So here we go. Hold on. I'm getting a message that I'm having to say, can I call you back? All right. So next up we have Millicent. Is it Therese or Teresa? I don't remember. Was it Therese?
I think it's Therese.
Hang on, I think.
That sounds more
now
correct.
that we're asking, I don't know that for sure.
Millicent and Therese. Yeah, Millicent.
Now I'm doubting
Therese.
myself. I'm like, I don't remember.
Names.
Yes, it's two names on this
Millicent and
one.
Therese.
So we have the short story that is based on, I'm going to jump ahead to this now, Needle in the Heart is the original short story that came out in 1969 in Ellery Queen's Mystery Magazine. That one I am fairly positive is in one of my collections because I remember that title. So I'm going to have to see if I can
I love
find
those
that
old
one.
mystery magazines.
And so
those are fun.
Oh, I do too. Like Alfred Hitchcock Mystery Magazine and Ellery Queen. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
So
bring those back, please, people.
They're actually they still sell them here in the States. I'm pretty
okay.
sure I've seen them in bookstores or whatnot, and which still exist.
We have a bookstore here.
This short story or short film is about twins. One very good, kind of puritanical,
also
and one
kind of mousy.
Another mousy sort of character. These are very archetypal type characters, and then the other one being very evil, sort of
slutty.
debaucherous, satanic, whatever she is. I don't know. She's all these things. So, it's so
SLUTTY.
Barfly floozy.
Yeah, yes, very barfly. That's a good one. Yes.
Hashtag son of a bitch. I have to write that down.
So
barfly floozy.
And they are supposedly like living in the same house. And I guess it's great. Millicent is what a stretch for the proper girl's name, Millicent.
Oh yes, they should have done a switcheroo there. That would have been cool.
Millicent is very concerned because Therese is, obviously she's clammy. She's into like the black magic and she's into all this stuff. Yeah. And she's telling a doctor played by who, Peter?
George Gaines, Commandant Lazard.
Yes, and Henry from Punky Brewster.
Yes. The man getting a...
Okay, really? Why is it when you go automatically go there every time? So
I think most people do. Joel.
No. I be pure and innocent. I say Punky Brewster.
I watched that in the theater. Okay.
So he threw me off my game here. Damn it, Peter.
I think that was his plan.
That was totally his plan. That's what he's doing. So he's the doctor, which was really cool to see him, a much younger George Gaines. And he is concerned because these two sisters seem to be endangering each other. And I kind of feel like this is the one where if you've ever seen anything with this trope in it, you can see it coming from a mile away. I don't think it was as well hidden as the other one. But it's not a bad story per se. It's just the reveal is very like,
it's kind of a big who cares.
What?
Yeah, it's a little bit of like I did like it because I liked Karen Black. It was like a good performance for her. The two extremes,
and she plays two parts in it. So,
we
have three stories.
She plays two parts in that one.
The 4 parts.
What?
Oh man!
Honestly, she's really good at all three of these.
Throwing me through a loop.
I just find this trope so tired. Like this is my least favorite.
It's very tired.
Of the
but
three.
was it tired? But here's the thing: was it tired though in 1975?
I don't know.
I don't know that it was as tired.
But
I don't think it was.
See,
Sybil hadn't come out yet.
When did that come out?
Sybil hadn't come out yet. There'd been That came out the late 78, I want to say. I could be wrong on that. I'm going to check.
Okay.
But I feel like that was later 70s.
Really weird flux of like people writing stories about women with either split personalities, different types of mental illness or like repressed memories, and all like connecting to like Satanism or satanic ritual abuse. And so it's just like,
actually, but this kind of predates this.
It does
this predates a little bit.
Yeah. But the thing I think is interesting. Like there's a couple interesting things happening. Like voodoo, as much as I kind of hate the theme, the story does tell you all you need to know about what's going on with her without really like blasting it at you, because we hear from Millicent about how she thinks her sister's a slut and her sister seduced her father at 16. And it's like teenagers don't seduce.
Speaking of dark.
It was like, clearly this woman was sexually abused.
She killed her mother,
and is suffering from mental illness because of that sexual abuse. And that's what's happening here. And so you kind of get that story, but you get it through like the weird twisted perspective of one aspect of the person. And that's pretty cool. And I also just was really creeped out by how like when she's Millicent, they like put makeup over her lips. So it almost looks like her lips are turning kind of blue, like she's sickly looking. And it was just like, oh, that's really, it's probably a simple makeup trick, but it was very effective.
The makeup for the Millicent is like Troll 2 has a character in it who is
witch. You're right.
I just kept getting flashes of that character in Troll 2.
Oh my God, it is totally her. I didn't even
when
think
she
about
comes
that.
out with the blonde wig, I'm just like the staggering. I'm not gonna say horrible makeup, but it was like, it was almost like, is she wearing makeup for the reserved sister as well as wearing makeup for the non-reserved? Like, is there a middle third personality that's like just completely devoid of the reality that is going back and forth between the two? That, there could be a third sister we never met.
I'm just totally hung up on the fact that it's totally the witch from Troll.
Sorry, I didn't mean to ruin it for you, but that's like
no, not at all. Actually, weirdly, it makes it better.
Like makeup and the glasses, and I was just
totally. It looks exactly the same, other than the teeth. Because I think in Troll 2, she has like really they put like makeup on her teeth.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, it does. You looked it up, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's really impressive. By the way, a side note on the Commander USA version that I'm watching of Night of the Creeps over here. The commercials are there, and Peter, they just had, from when this was recorded, Miami Vice was going to be playing at 7 p.m. that night, then followed by Gilbert Gottfried hosting USA Up All Night. That was fun. If anybody in the video sees me like looking over, I'm like,
I loved it when he hosted Up All Night. That was one of my favorite things as a kid.
Up All Night.
So good.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah. All right. So back on track with Millicent and
John Carlin.
I was just going to say.
Willie.
Looking weird.
He's the boyfriend at the beginning that she's talking to.
Oh, okay.
And he, as a Dark Shadows fan, I get excited. He was in so many things, but I mostly know him as Willie Loomis.
I recognize him, but I recognize him.
So that was the Dan Curtis spoiler on the second, or the not spoiler, Easter egg on the second one.
No, Cagney and Lacey.
You get your Dark Shadows cameo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cagney and Lacey. He played husband of.
He went on to play a cop a lot in his older years.
He has
and
that
then
look.
When he was young, he was playing a delinquent on Dark Shadows. Later, vampire assistant, but
spoiler:
the moon that we covered, Joel. He played the dad, Nikki's dad.
In
Racing with the Moon with Nicolas Cage.
Okay,
and,
Peter, we literally covered that movie half a decade ago.
And I've seen that movie so many times. But he was one of the good
actually
guys.
almost. Dude, we covered that. I think I was living in an apartment. That would have been 2018. That's been like 8 years, Peter. That's a decade ago, Peter.
Yeah.
Oh my God! All right.
So he's also in Nightmare on we covered that here, Nightmare on 13th Floor.
He was the crusty old cop in it.
Yeah.
He's
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's why I probably
Yeah.
remembered his face. Okay, that
he was
tracks.
also, I think he
all right.
was in Weekend of Terror also, if I'm remembering correctly. The one with
Night of Terror.
No, was it called Night of Terror? I
With,
think we just jokingly called it Weekend of Terror. The one where Chuck Connors is like crawling up a hill to like get this woman, and she's in her wheelchair.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
He's in a smaller part in that.
Yes. Oh, wow, that's a.
Don't ask me why I remember that.
Okay.
Exactly.
I don't know, because I don't remember that. I remember that movie, but I don't remember
annoying.
him at all in that.
Because you're probably excited that Willie Loomis was in
probably
in the movie.
And something. Yeah. All right. So we will now, unless you have anything else you guys want to say about Millicent and Therese, I think it's
Maybe
basically.
we should tell the audience that we come to a part where Millicent tells the Dr. Ramsey, the Commandant Lazard character, where she is going to kill her sister because she thinks she's evil and needs to die, and she's going to do it by voodoo. And then he arrives at the house and he sees the voodoo doll next to Teresa, and oh my God, he pulls the wig up and they're the same person.
What?
So I have a question about that, because like we see Millicent performing the voodoo ritual.
Split personality.
So like death must not have been instantaneous, because she would have had to switch into the Therese.
Teresa.
And because she's like fully made up and wigged. And so it's like, how does that work? How did that happen?
I think
he said it was the worst case of split personality
ritual witchcraft.
Yeah.
And she put a hex on herself.
Well, yeah.
And so then once she switched back
to time
over,
to get changed.
because she didn't put a
that's
hex on herself.
She doesn't die until she puts on the Teresa.
Until she becomes
you know what?
Therese.
That actually...
it's that voodoo that
I accept that it's not a plot hole anymore.
Put this together, did not put that much thought into it, but that does work.
But that does work. Mm-hmm. That totally explains it. Yep. Good job, Dr. Ooh. That's why you're a doctor. You got a PhD in oology. All right.
God damn it, I need to write that down.
PhD in
oology.
Oh, no.
So I also want to say, so ready for this? Sybil, the classic Sally Field TV movie, came out the year after this. It came out in my birth year, 76, baby. Yeah.
Okay.
So so that was, we were starting to get into that era of like the split personality, the repressed memory, and then which would lead us wonderfully into the Satanic Panic.
Thanks, Michelle remembers.
So wait, when was Michelle?
Thank you, all of psychology. The early 80s, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was inspired by a lot of this stuff, plus movies and bad psychiatry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an understatement. So we will now go into what is, I'm going to assume, everyone's least favorite segment.
I mean,
of
it's
Trilogy of Terror.
not my. I don't know. Anyways.
Uh-oh. What's about to be revealed?
Let's get into it.
Okay, let's get into it. All right. So this is the classic episode. It's called Amelia in this because they're keeping the theme of the character names. But in the book, the short story, she is named Amelia. The story's called Prey, like I already said. I personally think both for the short story and the movie, it should have been called He Who Kills, because it's a much better title. But I'm going to tell you right now, it is verbatim. Exactly. Matheson is like, oh, you want me to adapt my own for this last one? Sure. Here's my short story. Just shoot that, because it is. I honestly have to go back and just to check, but everything, like every beat, everything about the way it plays out with the mom on the phone, I think all of that, if memory serves, is exactly the same. So
did Karen Black change a little bit of the dialogue with her mom? I read about it. She might,
but I mean, what I'm saying is,
she made the mom.
I honestly almost find that the most stressful part. I'm entertained by the whole segment, but like the part where she's talking to her mom, I'm just like, like.
And all the emotional manipulation that's going on the other end of that phone.
It makes the ending so much more satisfying because of it.
It does.
Yeah.
So basically, the really short story here is that a woman is arriving home where she's brought a present for her new beau. and it's a Zuni fetish doll. And I looked this up because my kids were all like, wait, what kind of doll is that?
Right.
And I was like, a fetish in this vernacular is carved animals or figures traditionally made from stone or antler that embody specific spirits believed to offer protection, hunting success, health, and aid with life's challenges.
But
well, in this case,
I'm gonna be the annoying nerd here.
Not really.
The Zuni tribe is from the New Mexico area. They are like they are part of the Pueblo people. The Zuni fetish is a real thing. It's not considered a doll, but the carvings, like you just described, are unique to that particular tradition and culture and that region. And which makes me wonder if Richard Matheson was thinking of Zulu or just thought I'll just mix two different cultures that I know nothing about each other and make a really racist doll.
At that time, I think my guess here's my guess. I always feel like you have to consider the time in which something occurred. In 1970, well, actually, he wrote the story. I think the original story is hold on. It is from 1969. It was Playboy. You're right, Peter, on that. And then got released in a bunch of shorts. I'm going to get, because he, I think, lived in the Southwest, because that's when he lived there, is when he wrote Duel and everything else. I'm going to guess he heard the name Zuni, and he needs to write a short story for Playboy because they're paying him money. And he's like, okay. So, and he got his idea. I don't think they ever put that much deep thought. Plus, you got to remember, time before. Yeah, like I think if he'd had the internet, had a way to research shit, but my guess is he just threw it out there because I had no idea it was actually.
I mean, and not everybody has access to all this information, but like pre-internet knew what a Zuni fetish was, like as like a kid and a teenager, just from I don't know school and like traveling to the southwest part of the United States. So the first time I saw this, like I do really enjoy this segment. I'm not gonna just like go on a whole rant, but like that always just irked me slightly. I was like, why is it called that? Like, that's really annoying. Like, cause I don't know, like it tweaks my brain. It's like, cause then I have to hear all these people like referring to it. It's like, but that's, you know, the nerd in me is like, that's not what that is. Like there has nothing to do with anything African.
Yeah. But think about how many other like movies and TV shows you can come up with.
I'm just saying it's not
like, oh my God, that's
annoying.
not what,
It's something that like, it's annoying that we did that back then. I know that nobody thought about it really, but it's just like, it makes it age less well. Well, that, and also just the look and the behavior of the doll and that it's chasing a white woman around with a knife is a little like, what are we doing here? Like, what's this?
Yeah. And I mean, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. Again, I go back to, I doubt they even thought that deeply. I think they just, it looks scary and it has sharp teeth. It is chasing her around an apartment. That's my guess.
This would age a lot better. Sorry, I don't mean to shake the table. This would age better, at least I think, if the doll had been just a demon, like a non-culturally specific little demon warrior with a sphere, like some kind of little devil or like a gremlin type thing. Because I love the way this is shot. I love the way it moves. I love the little squeak, angry squirrel sounds it makes, and like, and her reactions, like everything else about this, I'm just totally on board for. I look at the doll and I'm just like, like I don't know.
Yeah.
No, but I think you have a point, because as a kid watching this, you probably don't think about that. But as an adult, I'm sure it raises a question or two. So I think,
and I still think it's a good segment. I just think the doll design adds this other weird level to the story that I don't necessarily think makes the story better.
Yeah. I just would be curious because I don't know who designed the doll. It may say in the credits. I would be curious to know how much thought they actually put into it. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many things that people think that, like, oh, did you mean X when you did? Like, they'll ask, this is a much more modern example, but I think it was Vince Gilligan was talking about I was either Pluribus or Better Call Saul. It was one of the more recent shows he did. And somebody's asking, like, oh, did you intend X? And he was like, look, if that's how you read it, then it's valid. But from his point of view, he's like, that wasn't even remotely in my mind when I don't even remember. I just remember him specifically bringing it. So I'm just saying, I think a lot of times they make things, especially again, back to time period, that being a key element here. I think in the mid 70s, they just thought, oh, this looks scary. And honestly, if we're being really honest, I think they wouldn't have thought, because we're a bunch of, rich, white, Hollywood people who saw themselves, I guarantee you, as very progressive and very thoughtful, and they would never be offensive of anything like that. So, and how many of them, how many things did we watch where, like, what was the one, the plumber? Like, they're the what's the word I'm looking for? Starts with an A, and I'm getting old, and I can't remember words now. Thank you. That's the one. But those people in particular in that movie were these academics, and they were very, and that it's that. So there's this bit of I think there's this element where people who at the time, when they, okay, this could be a weird one to pull out of my ass, but follow my logic. When they made Soul Man, I will bet $1 million they thought they were making a equality. No, I'm serious.
We talked about this.
Did you guys cover that on Retro Movie Geek?
Yes, we did.
What's her name that was in the movie? Yeah,
Ray Dawn Chong.
Will kind of defend that movie in interviews.
Because the overall message of it was meant to be actually kind of like against racism. It was not meant to be. But in hindsight, you're like, well, Jesus.
Sure. Well, and this is more because it's a Dan Curtis thing. And this is just more meant to be like a simple, scary story, just like Taki Tina from the Twilight Zone or something. Yeah. But I'm just pointing it out just because I just feel like,
oh, no, I get what you know. It's a valid thing to point out.
I also love the Kolchak television series, and there's a couple episodes of that have some really it's like these are choices that are not great, and they don't look good in 2026.
A lot of old shows back then.
Yeah, but I still love the show, and I still, like I said, I still really, this segment is just, it's really well paced. Karen Black is amazing in it.
Yeah.
Karen Black is the reason why it works so well, I believe.
Yes, it's very good. Yep.
Yeah, because she basically has to play
the final scene
nothing and just
is one of my favorite things I've ever seen in a made-for-TV movie, let alone also a lot of horror just in general. Like the final scene with her, I just love.
Yes. You mean that final shot?
So love that.
Yes, yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one that I think probably traumatized everyone when they saw it for the first time. 100%. Peter, if you're showing us, just so you know, from our point of view, you're frozen, even though in the final version, you're probably not.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know, that kind of worked because it went from frozen to instant scary face.
Jump scare. Yeah.
But when people watch this,
of the screen within a screen.
Well, and her physical posture and the way she's
the way she changes completely.
She
changes completely.
She's maniacal in the end.
You kind of almost want like somebody to try to like home invade her at that moment, and she's just like, come get me, man. I'm gonna mess you up.
And the way she just rips the lock off. And,
she's waiting for her mother.
Because this whole segment. I mean, when you see that gold chain drop, it's like, okay, here we go. And after that, it's just like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that doll
I just love. I love the little
and
every time that damn thing shows up, and it's just like,
completely nuts.
Oh my god!
And it can open doors, even though it's only this.
Bites under her neck.
Like, so I don't know.
No, I like that.
I tried to do some research, and I had trouble finding lots of background information. But I read somewhere or heard somewhere that like the sound is the recording of like some baby pigs like running around and squealing in like in a farm that somebody took like stock audio and then they reversed it and sped it up.
Well, there's a guy called Walker Edmiston who is uncredited as the voice of the Zuni fetish doll. So they probably mixed a lot of different sounds together.
It reminds me of something, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it other than like, I'm just like, wow, it just sounds like a really rabid chipmunk or something. Like it's very upset little animal.
Ooh, yeah. I like to say the scene where she puts it in the suitcase and thinks that's the end of it,
Oh,
and you just see that knife.
Yeah, it drives me nuts when she tries to grab it with her bare hands.
She tries to grab it.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would you do that? Come on.
Stupidity.
Well, and the other thing I never understood, and it's still, no matter how many times I've seen this, I can't figure out. There's a door. And is it her main door? Because the way they shoot it, she goes up and like locks it. And you know what I'm talking about? There's a part where she puts a chain. It's like, I don't know if it's a chain or like a.
Yeah. She rips it off at the end when her mother's supposed to.
But I'm just like the way they set. I'm just trying to remember, like why.
I think she locks it and she puts the chain on so nobody can come in because she's scared. And then when she's possessed at the end, she just rips that off and
that
just
part
sits
I
there
get.
waiting.
Yeah, but I remember. I'm trying to remember when it happens in context. Like, is it before she goes to take her shower or whatever, or is it? After the doll's already
after
loose.
the doll's already
loose,
she goes like she's trying to get out, but the lock is in place, and
so
she can't get the lock because she's frantic and
got it. Okay.
You know what's kind of cool about that
it.
is it sort of bookends because it's like the gold chain falls off the doll, and then the doll's alive. And then she's possessed and she's able to get the chain off her door, which is kind of a brass gold colored chain. It's like now her chain's off.
Yeah.
So like there's no stopping her.
Okay.
I don't know if that was intentional, but I think that kind of looks visually very fun.
And also completely out of the nothing to do with the story. The gold chain comes off and then she goes to take a bath, which I suppose takes a fairly long time. What the hell was the doll? What was it doing in the meantime?
Just watching TV.
Wandering around
Raiding the
room.
fridge.
I wonder what I'm doing here.
Or that.
Here.
Raid the fridge, you know. She was making a steak. He was probably like, hey.
I'll eat this first.
No, I think that now I will say this, and I hadn't watched it in a while, and I still appreciate it for what it is, and I still love Matheson's story. I don't think it worked for me quite as well as I remembered it working for me. I mean, there's still moments I like, and I love that last shot, and I love the noise it makes, but there's just something
when it's burning in the stove, that's kind of
that's good. Yeah. I guess it was just I seem to remember, like, you know, you had this memory, like, oh, I remember the last time I watched this, which was several years ago. I had a better reaction to it. Like, it's not that it scared me, but you know what I mean. Like, I just felt like I don't know, it didn't do anything for me. It's basically what it comes down to. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, I didn't dislike this movie or any of the three parts. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, Drew, I know you kind of insinuated that this particular segment wasn't your favorite.
The segment is Well, no, I think it might be my least favorite. I mean, it's
really.
I think the bookends. I think the beginning with like all the stuff with her mother is well acted. Everything is great, and I love the end. Of her, that intense stare and like the stabbing of the knife. That there was a tiny part of me that's like, oh man, that floor underneath there is getting. But like everything with the puppet is just. If it was a comedy,
cheeseball,
like
it did make me laugh.
I watch it and I'm this is a great segment of a Gremlins movie. You know, like it's a fun horror comedy, but like as horror, it just horror with tiny puppet things just does not work for me. As horror,
I actually love those kind of movies, but I will agree with you. This doesn't. Like, it reminds me of like is it Full Moon? Isn't there one called Ragdoll?
Oh my gosh, there's so many little guys.
Charles Band loves his.
You know, he saw this and was like, filing away stuff.
To speak of what Drew is talking about, the comedy, when she hides and it opens the door and it's hanging at. It's like you ride that fine line of comedy and horror.
This tall little doll is hopping up and opening a door, and then she can't keep the door shut.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the physics of
that. The only way I can like explain it is maybe it's if it's all supernatural and like the warrior spirit in there is what's actually pulling on it, and the physical doll is just a representation. But that's That's a stretch when I've
you're having to stretch it. Yeah,
I laughed really hard.
Yeah.
There's this, like, I think it's when he first gets in the door, he just goes like right across the floor, but it's like clear, like shaking.
Yes.
It's like, it's just so funny because you picture whoever's holding
there's
the
some
ball.
grip. There's some grip.
Like if you were going to try to antagonize a cat or something and you're like, that's what she needed. She needed a cat. A cat would have murdered that thing in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, it probably would.
They were like, where they were trying to make it look alive, and they were shaking it, and bits was falling off an arm here, and it was falling apart when they were trying to shake it to make it. So they apparently had a laugh.
Well, and like as a child, this would have disturbed me probably more just because of the Karen Black body stance at the end.
That last image is how you end the horror movie.
I definitely had a thing about dolls as a child, but the ones that bothered me were ones that were ventriloquist dummies, or like
Joel's
really like porcelain, like baby doll types. Like,
I am with you, Alison. That's why it would be really horrible if somebody sent me one.
The cover of
she's over there.
Cover of Dolls. You know, talking about. I love the movie too, but man, that was one of those. As a kid, I'd be in the in the video store, Video Circle in Corvallis. Shout out to old school video store. We'd be walking around, and I always had to go look through the horror section because I was just fascinated by it, and I wasn't allowed to rent most of the things, but I would see that cover and like the one for Evil Dead 2 where the skull had human eyes. I was just like,
with the eye.
What is this?
Yeah, that freaked me out too.
I need to know, but I'm also very concerned.
So
yeah.
Or that first trailer for Magic.
I didn't see that till I was an adult, thankfully. I didn't even see a trailer until I was an adult.
So Evil Dead 2 you mentioned. I feel like I love Karen Black, amazing actress. And she did a great job in all of these. Probably the only person that could have pulled off fighting that doll and made it real is Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, for sure.
Ash?
Yep.
Bruce Campbell
thank you for bringing that up,
fight an inanimate object better than any other actor in the history of anything, I think.
Hands down. Hands down. By the way, speaking of that, thank you for saying that, because that's who the Zuni. I was wondering if Raimi made the voice of the hand based on that doll, because it got that little it's got that kind of similar, you know, as he's running around.
So I guess we
that's
have
100%
some really
true.
fun later media to thank for this segment. You know, we have the Charles Band filmography.
I feel like a lot of people were inspired as kids, for sure.
Yeah.
So for those who watched the second one, how does that compare to? Because I haven't seen it.
I like it's a very early 90s, if memory serves. Like it has that early 90s, made for cable TV vibe, in how it looks and everything. The actress in it, it's the same situation. They used the same.
The actress is Lisette Anthony.
From
That's it. Yes, and she's the same character. She plays the same just like Karen Black did.
Really?
Is it kind of like a remake of it, or?
Actually, you ready for this? It's actually directed by Dan Curtis.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's actually 96. I thought it was earlier than that. I thought it was like 92.
Don't they do a remake of the Bobby segment from Dead of Night in it?
Hold on, let me check. I don't remember that. Maybe that sounds right.
You mean from your guy?
That sounds right.
And actually, too, as scary as that last moment is in this one, Trilogy of Terror, the last scene or the last moment from that Bobby segment.
I think Bobby is legit scary. Bobby was scarier. I think Bobby was scary. Yeah, like as an adult, that creeped me out. I was like, bro, no.
I mean, as freaky as this the last image of this one is, that the last images of the Bobby is
and
worse.
Yes, now that you say it, Alison, I remember. Yes, it was. So that's why I think, in a weird way, Trilogy Terror 2 is in a way stronger, because they have the Bobby segment, and I believe they have, unless I'm making that up, I don't think so. They have the Zuni fetish doll segment as well. And I try to remember what the third story is.
I'd be curious to see a different version of the Bobby story and see if it's as chilling as the first one, because
it wasn't. I remember it was good, but it wasn't as scary. It wasn't as creepy.
So I wonder. I also wanted to ask, while we were on this Dan Curtis journey, are either of the Kolchak movies on our list, Peter?
That'd be a Peter question.
I'm not saying yes or no to it,
but hypothetically, maybe, perhaps.
There are
All
some,
right.
I think.
All right, good. All right, well, any final thoughts on this one? I would say it's a movie for me that it's like one of those classic TV horror movies that you should absolutely see if you're into this kind of thing. I mean, that goes on to say it's not like and I won't say it's overrated. I just question how much of it is like nostalgia and
childhood trauma.
Oh, I definitely think
when
that's
she and her
factor.
lover attempt to rob her husband's grave.
Oh, is that the third story in the part two?
3 horror stories in the Graveyard Rats. 2 lovers murder the woman's older husband and encounters resistance when they attempt to rob his grave.
There's really awesome rat puppets in that, I think. Like really cool rat puppetry. Sorry, I get excited about things like that.
No, it's I can't. I'm trying to remember that segment. I don't even remember it visually. I can't. Anyway, but yeah, it's. I feel like it's important to like the history of TV horror movies and all that stuff. Obviously, there are moments in it that are legendary. It's one of those movies where if I never watched it again, I wouldn't be like, oh no.
We've all seen it a couple of times. So at least the last segment. Anyway,
I honestly I was thinking about it because I think for a long time I'm just like, well, it's a classic of made for TV movies. But if I'm watching it like this most recent watch, I ended up watching it twice this time, and I just thought, I don't dislike it, but it's not on my list of favorites. I think that part of it for me is it's like, I really like anthology horror, but the middle segment really drags for me. And there's all these just kind of plot hole things with the first one. So it's, you're never going to get like rarely do you get like a perfect movie, let alone a TV movie, but it's fun. It's not, it goes along pretty quick. I think when I was rewatching it this time, I'm like, is that middle segment going to drag? And I was like, no, this is actually moving right along. And the last segment is very
even
fast-paced.
watching on Creature Features at Race.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think, and my comments about like the doll aside, I do think they did a lot with practical effects and for a TV budget, and Karen Black just really sells it. Her character makes a lot of questionable choices as far as trying to defend herself, but she really sells it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna try to.
When she was alone in her bedroom with the door shut, I was like, all your clothes are here. You know what? It's the 70s. You probably have an awesome pair of knee-high boots. Now would be the time to put those on.
Yeah.
She doesn't have knee-high boots because mother wouldn't allow it.
Oh, well. I was just picturing my own closet, and I was like, I have multiple pairs of like leather, Ren Fair style boots, and I would be armoring up in all of my thickest clothing and just being like, all right.
Yeah. You've seen enough horror movies to know that's exactly what you should do.
It would not be trying to touch a knife.
That's because you live in a post-Scream world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's a fair point.
Exist.
Yeah. We live
Mother didn't allow her to watch horror movies.
Oh, I know. Oh, mother.
No, but it's like Joel said. It's even we've seen it so many times now, and it doesn't have that impact. Well, the image, the last image is a like an iconic image. But for those who haven't watched this, you kind of need to, because everyone is talking about Trilogy of Terror, and you kind of need to watch it. Anyway,
you can be in the know.
So.
I think him
Show
which
your
one he said, but I think the idea that it's absolutely something that I would recommend anyone who's into this kind of thing watch it. For me, I'm good now.
Right.
Yeah,
you're gonna go watch Haunted by Your Past,
Karen
right?
Black,
like instead.
Of course. As I always
which keeps getting
again.
suggested to me on Tubi, by the way, as its other title, Passions. It's just called like.
They're listening.
Yeah, they
so
really
watch
are.
out for
Come
that.
on, Tubi.
No, I mean, I'm not the hugest Karen Black fan, anyways. But I mean, she does a really good job in this. In all of these 3 segments.
It takes a lot to carry an entire movie, and with multiple characters, and she does that.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yep. For sure. All right. So I think it's time that we pick our next TV movie, isn't it? All right. So let's see. I guess it's probably my turn because I have on my list Alison, Drew, CMS, and Drew. So as we've done the picks. Yeah. So
go.
I will pick. Let me see here. How about? Oh, no, somebody already picked that one. Actually, I was going to say 47, and that was The Haunting of Sarah Hardy. And if memory serves, that was also not a great one.
It had its
how about 33?
33? Oh, okay.
33rd.
We're going in...
Don't say
1982.
Oh.
Okay, thank God.
It's called Cry for the Strangers. And you can actually find this on YouTube with commercials.
Oh, fun, like old commercials.
Because I wrote that down.
I think I've seen this one.
So Cry for the Strangers.
I think so.
You have?
I had to consult my letterbox list, but I don't 100% remember what it's about. But the title...
Am I going to be angry, Alison? Am I going to be angry?
All I remember is the title. So couldn't tell you. Okay, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. It just means I think I watched it years ago. And I'm pretty sure it's on my I watched it list. But
I know. I'm just checking because I'm in the loop anyway.
It's got Lucci in it, doesn't it? That laugh was a Lucci laugh.
No. I know who's in it though, but I think Dave actually recommended this.
Oh, Becker?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember.
Oh, wow,
I don't remember.
Oh my God,
if it was bad, I would remember it. You know what I mean? Like if it was amazing and I loved it, I would remember it, and I've watched it multiple times. But also, if it was
that does a boat.
But if it was really bad, I also would remember it. So I don't know. Like, and the other thing is
this is the Swedish video cover.
Oh wow! Okay, I like
fair,
that.
When I started
probably misleading,
getting heavily into these, I would put them on while I would work on a project. So I couldn't even tell you I gave it 100% my full attention. So don't read anything into that.
I just know who's in it.
So we talked.
I don't know. I just know. I think that Dave Becker recommended this.
Cool.
So.
We talked about.
So you can blame him if you don't like
Bruce Campbell earlier. Yes. And Bruce Campbell is a now Southern Oregon resident. And I grew up in Southern Oregon, and a lot of people from Hollywood will buy property and things in Southern Oregon because it's gorgeous and it's super cheap. And so the lead of the movie you guys are watching next, he actually he was neighbors with someone I knew in high school. So it was like,
that's why he's laughing.
That's why I'm laughing is I have a,
the lead?
You have stories?
The lead of the next one.
See, now you're going to have to come back.
They were in the same,
tell your story.
You absolutely.
Their parents and him were in the same Buddhist church together.
Interesting.
Oh, wow. So
I know what you're talking about.
If you have stories, I would... Well, first off, Drew, you're always invited. I think you know that. You're a default co-host now, so whatever you can be here, be here.
Anytime I can be awake enough.
Yeah, I got you. No, for sure.
Sorry,
all right, well, cool. So that'll be our next one.
Every time I'm on.
No, it's okay. We know.
So Cry for the Strangers, 1982 is the next one for people to check out. Yes. I think it's on YouTube.
You said 82, right, Peter? I'm going to make sure I put the right dates.
That's exciting.
I'm going to see. Hang on. Let's see. Just to make people aware that as of right now, let's see. Cry for. Oops. Spell it correctly, you dolt. Cry for.
Well, while you're doing that, Peter, and before we sail off this morning.
It's on YouTube.
Yay.
In different versions, actually.
Oh, okay. Allison, I believe you had a little something you want to throw out before we... Well, first off, you can tell everybody where they can find you, and while you're doing that, you could also talk about what you want to talk about.
Sure. Well, you can listen to our old podcast, Drew and myself, the Haunted Davenport podcast at thehaunteddavenport.com or on Apple Podcasts or through Podbean if you're so inclined, or see our Halloween-related art and displays over at Clark Memorial Gardens on Instagram. You can see my art at littlewingfairyart.com or on all social media. And I just wanted to take a moment to just really quick acknowledge the fact that Joe Bob Briggs' last drive-in ended on Shudder, and I know that there are probably some people out in the listening audience that were fans, because if you're a fan of like retro television and horror hosts and TV, there's a good chance that you've maybe watched some Monster Vision or the Movie Channel. And I just wanted to say how great of a show I thought it was, and how much I loved that we got to have that, and I loved all the creativity that the crew put into it, and I was definitely very saddened to hear that got cut short, because it was creating a communal viewing experience when they were doing live streams. And I know they pre-recorded the episodes, but they made this community out of horror watching within the fan base, which is great. And we've met Joe Bob a couple times. He's come to Portland a few times, and he's just been really lovely. And so has Darcy. Darcy's been great. And so I just wanted to just say, we sort of proverbially, I'm not wearing a hat, but, tip our hats to the last drive-in and all the people who were involved in making that, and the mutant family and the community at large. I just wanted to acknowledge how great all of that was. And if you're missing that and sad like I am, I found some solace joining their Patreon. If you're so inclined, they have a Patreon. I believe it's run by Darcy, and it's under the Lost Drive-In, and the updates and the content has just been amazing there. So that's been helpful, and I look forward to seeing whatever those guys do next. So
that's awesome.
I think so. And if you're a fellow mutant fan, I just want to say hello.
Yeah, it's not his first time being canceled.
No.
Nor his second time being canceled.
Nor will it be his last.
Probably not.
I do want to say, so I think I've shown this before. I don't know if I've shown it on this podcast, but Joe Bob goes back to the drive-in. I found this book in my local library when I was in middle school, 8th grade. I think is when I first found it.
Wasn't that the one you?
I told him about how he actually asked me if I had stolen this copy, because he did autograph it when I met him at Spooky Empire. Here's his in 2019. Sweet. That was his, but I actually said no. I ended up getting this copy off like thrift books or something. I did not steal it. Mr. Briggs.
I feel like he would have been happier if you had stolen it.
I probably would have been. I probably respected me a little bit more.
The library policeman would come.
But both he and Darcy were so sweet. They were really great. But
isn't that a short story? Library policeman. That seems familiar.
What is that?
Library policeman. Why did I think
it's Stephen King.
It is?
Yeah. It's Stephen King's story. All right. So also want to show, so there was a window there where they were giving away something they called the Silver Bolo Award on the last drive-in. And so those that don't know, there was a podcast called, it's still around actually, it's been rebooted by the great Matt Rawlings of Father and Son Watch Horror, and he's got other co-hosts on it now. But the OG version, HMP Horror Movie Podcast, was Jay of the Dead, Wolfman Josh, Dave, Dr. Shock Becker, and Kyle Bishop like one time. I think he was like on the first episode. They got the Professor Emeritus. Well, anyway, Jay ended up leaving. I got pulled in because apparently everyone's a glutton for punishment. What's that?
Yeah. You got shenagled into it.
Yeah, Shanghaied. And so I'd been on there for, I don't know how, and I don't think I'd been on there a full year yet, but then they make this announcement. Oh, actually I know what it was. I was at the Spooky Empire, and I said to I was wearing my Horror Movie Podcast shirt, and because I was also where I first met Bruce Campbell, and I could die because when we went to go get our picture with him, he was like, "Hey, Mr. Horror Movie Podcast guy, get over here." I was like, oh my God, he's making fun of me. This is amazing.
Yes.
And so, so then she saw my shirt, and Darcy got this look at her. She's like, "Oh, I listen to you guys." I'm like, what? It was the weirdest. I was like, huh? And she's like, "Oh yeah." She goes, "Oh yeah, make sure you guys are paying attention. There's something coming up." And I was like, okay. And well, as it turned out, it is I want to say HMP won the Silver Bolo Award. I by default, because I've been on it for like 6 months, and they ended up sending it to me. I can't remember why I ended up getting it sent to me, and I basically made like actual like perfect copies for everybody, including the Bolo, and then I like mix them around so that way no one knows who has the right one. And because I forget they only gave us one,
Joel.
Well, I can neither confirm or deny. No, I honestly, my thought was they gave us one, And they were like, "Oh, you can keep it there." I'm like, "No, I'm not going to keep it." First off, I'm the new guy. I don't need to keep it. Although it's hilarious when they announced it on the show, they mentioned Josh, they mentioned Jay, they mentioned Dave, and then they said Kyle.
Yep.
I always thought it was hilarious. Like Kyle's like, what episode at the beginning?
But that's credits on.
Yes, what was on the website?
Yeah.
Yep, exactly what they did.
Yeah, for the longest time, I thought I broke horror movie podcast because the last episode was the one I was on,
that's
and
right.
it never aired because it kind of went away. I was like, okay, wow, my episode never got aired, and then it was. It later was,
but needless to say, really, and I think shortly after we got ours.
I didn't know you guys were getting that. I wasn't surprised that you got one because I was keeping track of like, oh, this is fun to see people in the horror community get these awards. But we just happened to sit down to watch one of the episodes one night, and then you guys won, and I was so excited. I was like, hell yeah.
We also really laughed about the names being off. Like, oh, I guess Joel can kick rocks. Sorry, bro.
Go F himself.
I mean,
you're new.
He did get slightly acknowledged in person, so they were like, you.
Yeah, I did. I actually had the cooler moment where Darcy kind of like she didn't like fangirl out necessarily, but it was like she's like, oh,
she knows
she got excited.
Who you are.
Guys, what the hell is going on?
That's so cool.
But no, it was
Darcy knows me.
And then I guess they gave him out a little bit longer. Then I know it got cut off. I think because somebody complained or something
like,
stupid.
Why piss in the Cheerios?
Because people exactly because people are assholes.
Oh no, I know. Trust me.
People are strange.
But yeah, so needless to say, I'm very happy. I do not take any credit whatsoever. That Jay and company got that award. I just got the benefit of being on their coattails at the end and getting a copy of it. So, but it is cool to have, and it's a fun little thing. I've always been a Joe Bob fan.
And also, you're in company with lots of other great people. Like Count Gore Duvall got one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, which I got to meet him for the first time. He actually showed my short that was in the Fangoria Blood Drive before he was in the Fangoria Blood Drive. So it's like, honestly, I attribute him, and there's a few other those like local horror hosts
there somewhere, Joel.
It is. It's on Vimeo. I didn't put it on YouTube, but it was him and a few other ones. At that time, I made this thing. I had like zero confidence, and it was like it gave me that little boost. They all seemed to like it, and it was cool.
And here we are.
Here we are today. Wait.
You did a great short movie.
Well, thank you, sir. But I was like in my 20s, and I was just insecure as shit. And anyway, the point is, it was cool to have these people who I looked up to acknowledge it and think it was decent enough to show on their shows. And I was already a horror host fan. So for him to do that, and then I got to meet him in January of last year at the Tampa Bay Screams. He was there. He's like in his 70s, late 70s, early 80s. Now he's older. But he was so sweet. I was like, you probably don't remember this. And I told him about it. And he did that really polite. They were, you nod like you have an idea what the hell I'm talking about. And but he was really a sweet guy.
It would be cool if he said, you're Joel.
There is a Count Gore Duvall Roku channel where they post every month. They change the movies. They always do like, I don't know, about 4 features that he's hosted. And then they also do horror shorts. So that's something totally free for people to watch. There's no ads. It's got his original hosting wraparound. So if you're into that, definitely go check out his channel. It's just, I think
not to throw anybody under. Yeah, and not to throw anybody under the bus at all, because obviously I don't think I even followed up on it with this. I told him about the other short I'd done gift wrapped, and he actually had me send it to him because he said around Christmas time he was planning on putting it on that guy. And I don't have the Roku. I don't have Roku. I'm sure I can get it through something else, but I don't know if it ever got shown or not. I have no idea, but. Anyway, it was so cool that they even gave a crap.
People out there listening to this, if you know the answer to that,
let us know in the comments below this video. And that's the thing. If you're just been listening to the show, just for those that don't know, and I'll jump ahead of you for like 1 second, Peter. You can go to the Mom and Pop Video Shop. That's the video version of this. And actually, I would say our Terror on the Tube episodes like get some of our best numbers of any of the video, because I know something happened with the YouTube algorithm. Not that we were like getting massive numbers before, but something happened a few months back where, and I've heard a lot of people complain about this, like it just like somebody hit the brakes. Like it went from, you get like several hundred views of something to like you get 30. And you're like, whoa, what the hell? But yeah, it's weird. I don't know. It's because of AI. I don't know what the hell's going on. That being said, if you're listening to this and you're so inclined, go over there. If you like what we're doing, go ahead and subscribe, like the videos, leave comments. I know all that crap supposedly helps.
Yeah, totally.
That's what I've been told.
I wonder if you're getting punished for not being monetized because, YouTube gets a cut as well.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think a lot
share
of
the video with your friends.
And I think that it comes down to hours watched for monetization because we're past the subscriber count amount you need. So I think I'm going to talk to Tyson. We've got to do some things like streams and stuff because that will get your numbers up quicker.
I've given you an idea. Well, I'll give you 2 ideas.
You've got many ideas, Peter. That's why I love you. Speaking of which, Peter, where can they find you?
Well, here, apparently on the Mom and Pop Video Shop channel.
Yes, apparently.
They're on the tube.
Yes.
And they can go back to the Retro Movie Geek site and find stuff there too.
Yep.
Not all of it is uploaded though, but
it's not.
Nah, because you have to republish it, and I haven't gotten to that yet because
it's a little work.
Life happens.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, it's not. Well, yeah,
you got to have time.
Yeah, so I will get to it. I promise. But you can go back and read some of my old stuff and then listen to some of our old stuff. There's the werewolf, the Blues at the End, and all that stuff too.
Yeah, and be sure to also check out Jay the Dead's new horror movies. And recently, I got to do a horror lagoon with Jay the Dead and Doc Shock. Yeah, for Winter Beast, which is a classic.
Mm-hmm.
If you get the DVD double feature with that and Nudist Colony of the Dead, because that's the double feature.
I did see that cover and I was like, that's a treasure right there.
Yeah, it is. It is a little bit of a treasure. Yeah,
Nudist Colony of the Dead.
Jay sent David.
Sold.
Yeah, Jay sent it. It shows up in the mail. I'm like, oh great, I get to explain this one.
Mm-hmm. The wife is looking. Joel.
She knows.
She knows you by now.
She's like this guy. Well, it's a Mark Pirro movie, and he did like Polish Vampire in Burbank and Curse of the Queer Wolf, and what was the other one he's known for? And
the only thing I got in the mail these last couple of days is
Tom and Jerry,
the Golden Era. It is remastered, and
the
there's
Ultra years.
Yeah, the Ultra. Yeah, the
there's a ton.
Those cartoons used to kind of stress me out when I was a child. I was like, I don't think I want to watch
they're great.
this.
They're so violent.
They're not violent at all.
Two Tom and Jerry things that always pop in my head when people talk about like, cartoons, blah blah blah, back in the past is there's like they always do like the 9 lives, and it's like there's Jerry's one of his. Or no, it's Tom. Tom's
a cat,
one of his lives goes by, and it goes and off to the afterlife. And there's like a wet bag with kittens crawling out of it, And then there's also a Tom and Jerry where like Tom and Jerry like make up or something. I forget what it is, but like something happens that's unusual. And there's an alley cat in a garbage can, and he just says, well, now I've seen everything.
I remember that.
And then takes a gun and shoots himself.
I remember that.
Yes, I remember that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cartoons back in the day, kids.
Good old-fashioned comedy for the kids.
I guess there are days where you feel like the world has gone mad, and then you hear stories like that, and you're like, nah, we've always been this way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it's just funny because you can just picture like all of those old cartoonists with like the cigarettes just hanging out of their mouths. They're just scrolling away on a cell. They're like, I need to make myself laugh. I'm making, like whatever the crappy wage they were making at the time. And you're like, I've got to make myself laugh. I know what I'll do.
As a child, thought I wanted to be an animator. And then my dad bought me the book, the autobiography of Bill Peet, who was a Disney animator. And I read it. And it's a very cool book because he illustrates a lot of it too, but it's illustrations of like Walt Disney chain smoking and doing World War II propaganda films and then dying of cancer. It was an intense story to read as a kid, and also it just sounded like a really awful job. It was just like animation does not sound like it's for me.
It was rough, man.
It
was something. Yeah. Drew, were you gonna say something? I don't want to make sure.
Just repressing a yawn again.
All right, well then. We have that effect on people. And keeping that in mind, until next time, remember, when it's late at night and you can't sleep, you might find yourself flipping through the channels. And if you do, beware! Because you never know when you just might stumble across terror on the tube.